Welcome, victims, to the Horr-Gasm podcast, the show where the serial killer isn't coming for you, you're coming for them. I'm Nick, and it's my co-host, Ali.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us wherever you are.
I want to suck your blood.
Classic line, even though he doesn't say it in this movie.
Really?
Nope.
Where did that come from?
I think that came from,
Like Bram Stoker's?
no, the, Christopher Lee ones. Because he played Dracula for...
Wasn't that Bram Stoker's? Wasn't he in that one? Wasn't that the 90s one?
No.
Oh.
No.
There's been so many Dracula movies.
That was Gary Oldman. That was...
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think he said, I want to suck your blood.
If you
Pretty sure he didn't. Now I'm curious. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
I'm sure that was Christopher Lee's. I'm doing a look here. Hang on. You, Vamp. Talk about...
Just undoing my pants because I had a big supper. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a little TMI for the viewers. I don't know. It's kind of the equivalent to like, hey, I have a gun. I'm gonna shoot you. You know what I mean? When villains sometimes like, oh, this is my master plan. Dialogue, exposition. Here's how I'm gonna ruin everything.
Pretty much.
Like my partner was watching Mission Impossible 3 today. And I was like, it's like I have a problem with more than one Mission Impossible, and I love them. But like, then it's not very impossible.
I like the first three, and the rest are like, eh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really mind. The kind of action movies I feel like can have the longest life of any genre, only because they're so ridiculous and there's really a minimal amount of plot to begin with that you can kind of keep inventing more lackluster plot lines. Yeah. In my humble opinion.
So apparently, I want to suck your blood has never been spoken.
Well,
it was just someone just kind
trademark Alana 2020.
There we go. Someone just took the Bela Lugosi kind of accent and threw it in there, and away it went. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how in only Night of the Living Dead, zombies are asking for brains.
Yes. Yeah, like where did that come from? It must just be a thing.
That came from that movie.
Okay.
That's where that kind of came from, where they're like, looking for the brains.
Everything
else was just, they want to eat you, not brains.
Yeah, I was going to say, for more recent zombie movies, it's more, they just rip things apart. Like, they don't actually feed. Well, maybe they do.
They feed, but they also...
They just eat the whole body.
Yeah, they just kind of reach in and grab a handful. And
yeah.
another handful. And
yeah.
They just eat.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Daybreak by any chance? On Netflix? Where it's the kids?
No.
Okay.
I might have.
It was really good. I really liked it. It was kind of like a zombie type thing, but it only affected adults, so kids were fine. So the world was run by kids, like teenagers and children.
I know I saw the trailer for it.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was really fucked up, but it was so good. Like, kids killing each other is always kind of messed up, you know? But like...
Hello, Battle Royale.
Right? Ugh, but it was good. Yeah, it was really good. And that's like a good zombie movie. I don't know. Or TV show, I guess, that came out. But that's the thing where, like, they kind of rip things apart. Yep. More so of, like, eating brains. Like, that hasn't really been a thing for a while, has it?
No, it was just in the Night of the Living Dead series.
Right.
Zombie movies. And I know, like, Simpsons kind of took that with an episode of Treehouse of Horror.
Sure.
Where they're looking for brains, they go Homer, tap his head, hollow, and brains, and go, they leave it alone.
But it is very associated with zombies, the whole brains thing. Like, I play a game called Zombie Dice, and the whole point is you collect brains.
Yeah. It hasn't been... They kind of got away from that, though.
Yes,
now mostly
definitely.
Zombies eat everything.
Yes.
We talked about last episode before, the Love Story one.
Oh my god, yes.
Again, I'm thinking what it's called. I can't remember.
Oh,
but,
it's so good.
He eats the brains to have, like, the memories of the previous person. Like, that's a good twist.
It's really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the, like, there's so many different varieties of zombies. Same
right.
with vampires. Like, vampires have different rules.
Absolutely.
There's, like, some can fly, some can't. Some takes a heart or lose their head. Others is silver bullets and stuff like that, like Blade. It's just different. Every movie they have to kind of, if we're going to make a zombie movie, or a vampire movie, or anything, we'd have to kind of go through the lore and say, pick and choose.
Absolutely.
What of these will work with our movie and our plot?
Absolutely. Like in this movie where they chose to do the crosses,
Yep.
the wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane, which I don't think it's ever been brought up again.
Interesting.
I think wolfsbane kind of turned into garlic.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. And mirrors was another one that was brought up in here. And coffins. That's another one that's kind of in and out. But
this kind of follows the story, the novel.
Right. Yeah.
This kind of, same with this one. The 1990s Gary Oldman, Bram Stoker's Dracula. That followed the book very well. The Netflix series was so good. It kind of followed the book. It also was very liberal and went its own way, which works.
Yes, 100%. I thought it was interesting, and I really liked it because it was close to the Netflix series, I thought, which I just finished, like, not that long ago.
Yeah, that was good.
I like that it's almost like they extended the boat sequence as well.
Yeah.
And then modernized it.
They did. They almost had to.
Yeah, well, for sure.
And like a what if. I remember there was Dracula 2000 with, I forget who's all in there. I think Gerard Butler was Dracula.
Sure.
He did a great job in the movie. It was a good kind of updated version of Dracula, like Bram Stoker's. But they threw it in like to at the time it was like modern society,
right?
Different, this and that. Like
interesting.
I like in the Netflix Dracula when he kind of comes. A little bit spoilers here. He comes to modern age and he's trying to learn.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what's this box? It's a TV. And he's learning. And I love that.
He learns quickly, though.
Well, he also learns through drinking blood.
Right.
He gains the knowledge through drinking blood. And I think, hey, that's a great idea, too.
Yeah, because then he can catch up quicker. And the other thing that was in this movie that was also in the Netflix adaptation is that they can turn into wolves.
Yep.
That's a thing.
That was in the old, again, back to Gary Oldman's take on Dracula. He turned into a wolf, like a werewolf thing.
Yes.
Bat, mist. Like he did, like, again, that goes back to the different rules and lore of Dracula.
I'd never heard of the wolf thing before, and I think because of like movies like What We Do in the Shadows, where they have such a thing with werewolves, like they're kind of at odds, and then Twilight, always at odds with werewolves. But it's kind of a thing where
I'm glaring right now for bringing up Twilight to Dracula. Why?
But it's kind of a thing where like werewolves and vampires and lore don't typically get along, and, which is interesting. A better example than Twilight is Underworld. Underworld has the vampires and the lycans. Lycans. You're right.
Much better.
I forgot about Underworld. That's a good one.
It is a great underrated movie.
Yeah.
Later on, the sequels get a little goofy,
more actiony than horror.
They throw a prequel in there to explain the whole first movie.
Yes.
Which you do if you make enough money. Like, hey, people are kind of buying this. Let's throw this in there. Let's see if we can get more story out of it.
Yeah.
Also, like game wise, Castlevania.
Yes.
Castlevania.
Oh, and that's a good one.
It's a great, got the Vampire Hunter, the Belmont clan.
Yeah.
Simon Belmont. I forget their names now. There's a bunch of different Belmonts. Richter Belmont.
Yep.
And their job is to hunt vampires and kill Dracula.
Right.
And he has a very good habit of coming back to life and being resurrected, which they haven't touched on in the movie so much. But
he has kind of a tragic backstory, doesn't he, Dracula, in the Castlevania Netflix adaptation?
Netflix, yes.
Because I remember I've never really played the games.
It's hard as hell.
Yes, and I've heard that, and I give up very easily.
Yep.
So, when I first started watching it, I was like, I never thought I would feel bad for Dracula. But he has a tragic backstory and why he hates people and hunts people, and you're
Makes
like,
sense, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Had a human wife who he was going to eat, and she's like, nope, I like you, let's talk. And he's like, okay. And they get together, they fall in love, they have a child, and then, of course, people are dumb and they kill her.
Yeah.
And he becomes murderous with rage and going to kill them all.
Which, like, I feel that.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah, I don't, especially if he's going to live for, like, basically ever.
Well, he could. thing is, he had the power to do that.
Yeah.
And why not? Fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah, so why wouldn't you just enjoy your wife for a while? And, let her die a natural death and just enjoy. And nope, they had to take that away from him.
Yeah, she would have died eventually.
You bet.
But I'm sure he would have been more at peace,
Yes.
Or maybe could have convinced her, hey, become a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, you die, I'm going to die too.
Yeah, exactly.
But she didn't get that option, sadly. I'm trying to think of some other good Dracula representations.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Squad has...
Yep.
I'm going to give you the air quote Dracula.
Sure.
It's a vampire. I don't think it's exactly... It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer had a Dracula episode.
Yeah.
We have got to get back on that.
Yes, we do. I know.
I'm mad about that.
There's just so many things coming out because of quarantine. I'm so into so many different things.
Well, again, to just kind of date our recording, tomorrow is May the 4th, so I'll be watching Star Wars tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, the trilogy comes out tomorrow. Or all 9 movies are out tomorrow on Disney+.
That and the last episode for the Clone Wars.
Yes. Yeah, they're releasing, Skywalker. What's the last one?
Yeah.
I forgot the last name already. Rise of Skywalker comes out tomorrow, so all 9 are now.
Haters, I thought it wasn't that bad of a movie.
Much
better than The Last Jedi.
I'm a huge Adam Driver fan, and
You've mentioned this
once or twice, probably not on the podcast, but in real life. And yeah, I have lots of things to say. I feel like, what if we did for our not horror movie month? What if we did one Star Wars movie?
We have to. We may as
what
well.
if we did one, and then we could just talk about Star Wars?
That'd be a great. You know what? I can for Talking Chop for that episode. There were 2, I believe. Mm-hmm. I read one, horror Star Wars novels.
Interesting.
It was a zombie take.
Okay, sure.
Basically,
kind of like what they did to Archie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers end up on this planet, and there's a.
You're right. I've seen the cover to this.
It's like the Stormtrooper helmet with blood on it.
Yes. Yep.
They're on a planet which has this. I think it's like a plant
that
kind of like a fungus that turns them into zombies. It's been a while since I've tracked this book down, and
I heard it was really good and well received, though.
It was. It was a great. Most of the Star Wars books are great.
Right.
Of the old legends lore. Then they're like, no, fuck that. Let's do our own shit. And I'm like, oh no. But yeah, it's a great book. It's a great read. It's got the whole. They tear apart other stormtroopers. They become infected.
Cool.
Not so much as zombies, but
right.
They have the characteristics, the actions, the movements. So
that would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Jeez, yeah. Well, that's good. I'm gonna write that down somewhere. I'll remember it in my brain when I re-listen this.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do other good Dracula movies where he's the kind of main focus.
Yeah, he's in. Well, there's quite a few just Dracula movies.
Well, there's a bunch.
There's so many.
There's the Bela Lugosi, and then all the sequels to that.
Yes.
There's the Italian Dracula movies.
Yes.
There's the Hammer Horror.
The Hammer, yeah.
With Christopher Lee.
Yes.
He did a fantastic Dracula. There's different types. There's Bela Lugosi. He's the more prim, proper, pompous.
Yeah.
Dracula. You got the Christopher Lee Dracula, who's a lot more vicious.
Yes.
He's more centered to I'm gonna drink. I want blood. There's a lot more graphic. Those ones. There's what's it called? Oh, one with Hugh Jackman, Van Helsing.
Oh my God!
In that one.
I love Van Helsing. How did we not think of that? Good call. That's one of my favorite movies.
And it's another take. They took another idea of Dracula, and they had the wives of Dracula, who's got his bitches.
So good.
And there's a connection between him and Hugh Jackman. He's also a werewolf. And
they don't really turn into bats. They more turn into demons when they're flying.
Yeah,
don't
it's
they?
a lot more
very more fantasy
demonic looking.
Yeah.
There's another one that came to mind. It ran away now.
Crap! Got too excited about Van Helsing.
I know. I got too excited. I was going to bring up the we got to talk about the wives of Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I love the scene, like we talked about as we were watching the movie
mm-hmm.
of the 90s Bram Stoker's Dracula with Keanu Reeves, who
mm-hmm.
is a godsend to Earth. Not just America, he's Canadian.
Yes.
But when the three wives of Dracula, they come and they seduce him.
Yes.
And he's like, no, but three women, beautiful. It's hard to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of just bite his nipple, blood comes up, they bite other places, drink the blood, and Dracula just storms in and just kind of scared, like they're terrified of him.
Right.
And they jump up to like the ceiling and they all kind of come together. They don't merge, but they all kind of come together and look like some sort of creature.
Yes.
And I love that look.
Mm-hmm.
I love the visual.
Right.
And it shows us, Dracula is the man. He is the power.
Yes.
And he looks and he laughs at Keanu Reeves' character. And he just screams terribly. Again, one of the better images and memories of Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, vampires have never really bothered me. Like, of all the monsters, Dracula has never bothered me.
Same.
I don't know. It's not as real. Like, zombies, for some reason, always bother me. Like, zombies are a thing that just kind of bother me.
Yeah.
But because I think there's been more updated versions of, like Walking Dead and whatnot, I wish they do a more modern TV show of vampires. Because I think something like that could be fun.
They've tried a few times. It's the same old. It really be the same old. You got... I know there's one on Netflix. It's a French a French vampire show.
Okay.
Of a family of vampires. They're kind of hidden of the world. But they're, this woman's... Her two oldest kids are vampires like her. Her two youngest are not. But...
Interesting.
They become vampires.
Sure.
And it's kind of like follows the young daughter who's kind of becoming... she becomes... I forget how she gets in bitten or something.
Sure.
I think she also had to get like a serum, like a pill, to keep them from becoming fully vampires. Or something. Yeah, that's how.
Interesting.
It is. And her brother stops, and he's like, "Oh, there's no effect. There's an effect." And she's like, "Oh, me too. I'll stop too." And she starts to change.
Crazy.
And, so yeah, it's. Huh. Ooh, I remember another one now. Blade 3.
Okay.
Blade 3.
Yes, you're right.
Dracula.
You're right. Those Blades were a good movie. Blade 1 is probably one of my top 20 favorite movies.
Saved Marvel.
Yeah?
Blade did so good. It kicked so much ass. It saved Marvel, and that kind of was the start of the Marvel movie phenomenon.
Awesome.
Right there. Because it did so well. Because I was like, ooh, this is great. This is a good movie. And then Blade 2 came out, which is even more graphic. Because it was a graphic, gory... in the unedited, or there's a deleted scene or alternate scene of the ending of Blade 2, where he chases that one guy down, cuts his arm off and all that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get you. He catches him in a peep show room.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Now the theatrical version had a nice clean window.
Yeah.
The other version had a nice stained, freshly used window. And I can see why they didn't want to use it in theaters. That would have kicked the R rating up to XXX or NC-17. But I like how they brought in Dracula. And again, he couldn't die until Blade killed him.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've seen Blade.
3?
Trinity?
3 is the one with Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's with Dracula. And Triple H. Triple
H,
you're
right. You're right. Yeah.
Acting debut.
That's a good one.
And
Blade 3 is good.
It is. They're all good. All 3 Blades are good.
Oh, now I want to watch Blade. Oh, this is just making me want to watch all these movies.
and that's what we're doing this for. Is to talk about horror movies.
Yes.
Blade is half horror. Blade 2 spooked me. I'll say Blade 2 with the...
Both of them spooked me, honestly.
The first one, not so much.
Really?
It was more action, kind of whatever. But the second one, they brought in the different vampires with their mouths would open up.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think we saw one in theaters. I'm sure we all went into PA when we live in Waka and we watched it in theater.
I believe it.
and I remember that. I was like, oh, geez, that's spooky.
Ooh.
I loved it. Had I forget his name now, but he played Cat in Red Dwarf. He was one of the elite vampire guys.
Okay.
In, part 2. Him. Yeah, there's a bunch. It's a great movie. Great cast, great acting.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love Blade 2.
Yeah, all the Blades are good. We should add Blade 2 to our lineup, though, in 10 months when we get there.
Vampires. We'll throw Blade in.
Perfect.
For
awesome. That's awesome. Month. But since we're doing vampires, do you want to get into the movie?
Let's get into the first. Not the first Dracula movie.
Yes.
Not the first vampire. That was Nosferatu.
Well, I was going to say Nosferatu. That was the first one.
1922.
Yeah.
But that wasn't Dracula. That was just, I forget his name.
Okay.
They made this vampire guy, I forget his name. This one was based on the book.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, again, before we get into it, this was done quite a few times. It was done in plays.
Right. Yes.
So when they started doing this movie, people were like, oh, another Dracula movie? Whatever. So that's kind of their mentality going in with Bela Lugosi.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, let's get into Dracula 1931.
Oh no, don't! Don't kill me! Let me live, please! Punish me, torture me, but let me live! I can't die with all those lines on my conscience! All that blood on my hands!
All right, so this week we watched Dracula, which came out in 1931. So I was born in 91, so that was 60 years before I was born.
In 11 years, it'll be 100 years old.
Oof. That's crazy. And it was directed by Tom Browning and Karl Freund. Sure, that feels right. And it was written, obviously, by Bram Stoker and Hamilton Dean.
Cool.
Woo. That was fun, yeah. I'm still looking at that name oof, I don't know if I did that right. Freund? I don't know.
Let's see.
Freund? Freund? Feels like friend?
Fruin.
Sure.
Fruin. Sounds German.
Yeah, it does sound German. It feels German in my mouth.
We should...
Name of my sex tape.
Which auntie knows the most German?
Hit somebody up.
Wilma does.
Mm-hmm.
Erna.
Ugh. Yeah. Give somebody a call and ask. So I have this name.
I remember once I asked about. I had an old Ninja Turtles comic, and they're speaking German.
Sure.
Or they're written German. I'm like,
yep.
What does it say? So I went to Mom. What does it say? And she translated it for me.
Grandma was good at written German. She couldn't speak it so good, but written she could do.
Yes, she could.
Yeah, if she took some time at it, I was like, it would be so cool.
Yeah. So let's go through the cast.
Woo.
It's not the big cast, but we'll go through the main characters. We got
Let's do it.
The classic, the well-known.
The one and only.
The one and only. Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula.
He's such a badass bitch. Let's just be honest. He was cool.
At this era, he was top notch.
Yes.
Everyone knew him, everyone loved him. He was the bomb. He was the guy.
Well, he died in 1950 something, and I even know who he is. Yeah. I've known who he was for a while. Even before this. It's just one of those names, that resonates kind of. Yeah, he was a great for sure.
We have Helen Chandler playing Mina.
Right. Yeah.
David Manners as John Harker.
Such good names.
I know.
David Manners. Well, it just feels like an old school name, you know? Ugh.
Dwight Fry as Renfield. And a little trivia here. Sadly, after this movie, he became typecast as the psycho, crazy person.
Oh, this was,
He started off really just normal person. Yeah. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He played really well.
Yeah, that was Reinfeldt, you said?
Yes.
Fuck, he was good. He was, I think, my favorite person. I mean, Bela Lugosi was amazing, but he was my favorite part of this movie. He was so good.
He was.
Yeah.
Edward Van Sloan as Van Helsing. Herbert Bunston as Dr. Seward. And Frances Dade as Lucy.
Okay, so just super random, but have you ever seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall? With Vince Vaughn and Kay. Every time somebody talks about Van Helsing, I always think of the musical that he does. Die. God. And if I see Van Helsing, I swear to God I'll slay him. Every time I think of the Dracula musical with puppets, he does. Like, isn't that depressing when I hear something about Dracula and Van Helsing? I'm like, fuck that puppet musical. Like, I would have loved it.
I know, I forgot Dracula movie to mention earlier. Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
Oh my God, yes. Again, we love Leslie Nielsen here. Like, just FYI, it's...
And it's funny how close that movie followed the original 1931
yes.
and the 1990s Bram Stoker.
You know,
like, he took both. He took both and was like, hey, let's throw them together and make it a comedy.
Definitely.
And Mel Brooks, being the comical genius he was, he's like, easy, done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, not even hard.
No.
And it was hilarious.
I love like, I love all of his Naked Gun movies with Leslie Nielsen.
Yes.
But I think his next one has to be Dracula Dead and Loving It.
It's so good. Yes, definitely.
He did Mr. Magoo.
Yes.
Not so well received.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's all but, listen to, like, just nothing but love.
Yes.
Nothing but love for him. And Mel Brooks.
Yes.
Mel Brooks, his movies were funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were funny.
And it's that kind of like deadpan humor, though, that I love. Like, it's very close to like British humor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're just so good.
So, where did you first hear about Dracula 1931? The original. The black and white.
I don't know. I feel like this is like way back into the bowels of my brain. Because anatomy. I think on an infomercial at some point late in the night, they were trying to like hawk some collection, like not the fancy collection you have, but like a Frankenstein Dracula kind of collection. I was like, black and white? Who watches black and white movies? Exactly. Like, I was a kid. And then I just remember, because all I remember is kind of his faces, like when they do the little pane of white where he does his glare.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And then the Frankenstein face. It's just a very iconic sort of a face, you know? And I think that that's all. I didn't even know what the movie was. I just knew it was black and white, and I knew it was kind of scary.
Yeah.
That's about it. So how about you?
So I've never seen this one until now, but I've always kind of known about it. I don't know,
exactly.
When it just came up like, Dracula, who's that? And he's kind of always a vampire. He was like the most well-known vampire.
Right.
Yeah, it's like common knowledge.
Exactly. It's just one of those things you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know when or where, but you know about it.
Yes, exactly.
I knew it was black and white. I knew he had the tuxedo. He had the cape.
Yes.
He had the slick hair. I didn't know the whole story, but I just knew that was Dracula.
Yes.
Easy. And it's... Yeah. Yeah,
it's just one of those monsters that you know. You know? Like Dracula, Frankenstein. Yes.
The monster.
Oh, you know what's another one we forgot to talk about?
What?
Hotel Transylvania.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
It's one of my favorite kids' franchises. I don't say blah, blah, blah.
He doesn't. He really doesn't.
I just wanted to bring that up. I was thinking about before. But it's like, but you know, that's the same trope where like he's got his friends, like it's I'm going right back into Talking Chop. It's like Dracula and the Mummy and the Invisible Man and the werewolf and Frankenstein, like, you know, they all just hang out together.
I got one more for you.
Okay, do it.
Count Dracula. The 1980s, I believe it's Canadian cartoon.
Yes.
Of this vegetarian vampire duck.
Like, why?
Why not? It was a great show. I love that show.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. It was so good. So.
Right, Dracula. Dracula 1931. Here we are, back again.
Such good. And again, if we're going to start off or kick off classic horror month, we have to start with Dracula.
You have to, yeah.
Because he is like the most well-known monster.
For sure.
Of monster movies.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody knows him. He like, you know, it's one of those monsters who spans, you know, all nationalities, all languages. Yep. Everybody knows who he is. In some sense of, you know, culture. It's just one of those things you just know.
Yep, I agree.
It's crazy. You just know things.
That'd be a good because Game of Thrones, you got Tyrion, I drink and I know things.
Yep.
That should be like Dracula.
Yes.
I drink blood and I know things.
Yeah. That's a good tagline.
I think so too. Well, let's get into the review.
Let's do it.
And this is everyone's getting used to the more hour and a half to 2 hour movies. This is just over an hour.
Yeah.
It's a very short movie, black and white.
Yeah.
You can tell it shows its age very right away.
Right, yes. Which is kind of charming, though, don't you think?
It 100% does.
I think it's very charming. There's some shots where it's like, okay,
the bats.
Oh, the bats were hard. When they do, like, up-close shots of the bat, it just looks like a papier-mâché, like, little figure.
It's a real bad lash.
Yeah.
It's real.
And there's a couple shots that are, like, must be a style choice or something, but, like, it was weird. Like, when he's going to bite one of the girls, and he's just, like, making this really awkward, like, frowny face, and it's like...
I don't think I saw him with pointed teeth.
No.
Not once?
No. I know.
And yet they say she's got 2 marks on her neck.
Yes.
From his teeth. I don't see him.
It's like, okay, if you insist.
But, so... Dracula in 1931 starts off with Renfield.
Yes.
He's a solicitor. He's, as the story goes, he's selling Carfield Fax? No.
Yeah. Carfax.
Carfax Manor.
Yes.
Yeah. The property to Dracula. So he comes to Transylvania to meet.
Yeah, do the paperwork. Yeah.
So we see him. He's on the in the carriage.
In the carriage.
Yes, the old carriage.
Ah, yes, quite.
And so he's with some people, and they kind of go to this little village, and they're all
little Hungarian village. Yeah.
Hungarian. And he's kind of mentioning, I'm going on to some pass. I forget what the pass is called. Mm-hmm. And like, oh, don't do that. It's almost nighttime. It's a special time of the year where I forget the name.
Sure.
I'm pulling a blank here, but they're all terrified.
Yes.
And they're like, we don't wait till morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous to go out alone at night. It's like, no, drive early, because they throw his bags off. I got to keep going. I got to meet another carriage at this spot
at midnight. Which is when I do all my deals. So I'm I'm wondering why they're so concerned.
Yeah. So they're trying to tell him, no, it's Nosferatu, it's Dracula. He's going to Count Dracula. It's a bad idea. He's like, I have to go. I have business.
Business.
Yeah, so they think, all right, well, the old one would like, here, take this crucifix, it'll protect you. He's like, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. And off he goes. Yeah. And he goes and meets the other carriage. The first one doesn't even stop. He just takes his shit out. He
throws his,
He's like, tuck and roll. He hops out, and they take off, he hops in, and as he's going, we see Dracula's waking up. Him and his wives wake up, and they're kind of getting their things ready for company.
I don't know what they got ready. There's just like spider webs all over.
We have to get the wine out.
Right.
So he's on the ride to Castle Dracula. There's a bat in the front kind of guiding him. And they arrive at the castle, and he's like, all right, well, get my bags out. Driver's gone. Bag's gone. He's like, what the heck? So he goes to knock, and the door opens beforehand.
Yes.
And as it always does. And he meets Dracula coming down the stairs, and has a little chat. It's like, well, let's get things going. And going back the stairs, and Dracula goes through the spider web.
Yes, yeah.
And he's like, oh, what the? And you can tell Renfield's kind of like, what the hell's going on?
Yes.
There's some weird shit going on here.
Well, when you walk in, there's like just a staircase. There's a bunch of broken furniture and spider webs and dust everywhere. And he's just kind of like, okay.
Need a maid or a vacuum.
No wonder you're moving. That will not increase the value. I'm just saying.
They go in and they go to a nicer room.
Yes.
And they kind of work out. Yeah, he's taking Carfax Abbey in London, and Dracula's like, here, drink some wine. And
it's very old.
Yeah, it's very, very old wine.
Yeah.
And Renfield's like, well, aren't you going to have something? Dracula does his classic line, I do not drink wine. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, more for me, great. Mm-hmm. and I think
same.
he must have, I don't think, drugged the wine or something, but
Yeah, I thought that must have been the thing, that he must have put something in it. That's why he passed out.
He drops shortly after.
Yes.
And he does the classic, cuts his finger, and Dracula's like, I can't look. I'm like,
does like a dramatic turn.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's, it's just a paper cut from, the paper clip, and sucks on it. And Dracula's like, and Dracula kind of walks up to him. And then when he moves his arm, his cross falls out. And Dracula does like that.
Yeah.
Turns around. Yeah. So that's our first hint that, the crucifix does work, which is nice.
Yeah.
So, yay.
So Dracula kind of, leaves. So during night, we plan to go to London by ship in a couple days. And feels like, okay, cool. So Dracula leaves, and he kind of snoops around, and this mist fog kind of rolls in.
Yep.
Bat flaps around, and the three wives show up.
Yay!
And old Renfield faints for some unknown reason. I'm guessing either wine or who knows.
Yes.
Or Dracula hypnotizes him. I'm not sure. But he faints. The wives kind of go like, oh, supper time.
Yep.
And Dracula shows up. He's like, no. He kind of shoos him away. This is mine. This is my pet.
Yes.
And he hypnotizes Renfield.
Mm-hmm.
And makes him his slave.
Yay!
So aboard the schooner, Vesta, Renfield is a raving lunatic slave to Dracula.
Yes.
He's always talking to him, and it's funny, he's telling him, we're almost here, master, we're almost here. You can't hear me, but I'm telling you, we're almost here. And Dracula kind of wakes up, and he notices like a lot of food here.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically eats all, kills everyone, drinks their blood.
Yes.
And they kind of crash.
Yes.
The boat kind of crashes into where it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of police there checking out. Like, everyone's dead.
Yes.
Except Renfield, who's just, he's got the look.
Yes. They open up the hatch, and he's just standing there, and he's like, hey. And it's like, oh,
I love his laugh. I love Renfield's laugh, which they copy in Dracula. Again, loving it.
Yeah.
Just that laugh.
It's so, and like barely moves his face. It's so creepy.
I can see why they typecast him, because he
Definitely
played it perfect.
So crazy. Good. Yes.
Couldn't do more than that, but I'm sure it paid the bills.
Yes.
So,
and then we see like a newspaper clipping sort of on the screen that talks about like, murder at the Big C.
One man survived.
Yeah.
Crazy. Sent to Dr. Seward's sanitarium.
Yes.
And which is right next to Carfax Abbey, which is that's a little ironic.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. So that's where Renfield ends up. He's sent to the mental institute.
Yes.
And we see Dracula just kind of walking the streets of London.
Yeah.
And there's this lady selling flowers for the bottom.
The buttonhole.
Buttonhole.
And I was finishing a puzzle on my phone, and it's kind of garbled, so I thought she was saying butthole flowers, and I'm killing myself laughing. And then I see the subtitles, and she's saying buttonhole, but she's saying it so quick.
Yeah. Well, Dracula didn't like that, so he ate her.
Oh,
she's dead.
Yeah. He like walks up to her, and like, it's like a full 30 seconds of him like prowling towards her with his hands out.
I was never get that close up with the light.
Yes.
He never blinks.
Yes.
Not once does he blink in this movie.
That's crazy.
And he kind of did a hand thing, and he kind of just hypnotizes her and drinks her blood, and he snoops off.
Yeah.
To the theater.
Yes.
And there he meets Dr. Seward.
Yeah.
Seward introduces his daughter Mina, her fiancé John Parker, and the family friend Lucy.
Yeah.
And Lucy she's smitten. She's like, I like this Dracula fella.
Yes, she's super into him, but he's like older. But I mean, whatever. Like, I feel that.
This is the third. Well,
like, I wouldn't say no.
It's I think the book was written. The time place is like the mid 1800s, late 1800s.
Right.
But so Dracula's like, you know what? I'm gonna have a piece of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And he drinks her dry, and she dies.
Or does she?
No, she does.
I know.
So Renfield, Dr. Renfield, he's obsessed with eating flies and spiders.
Yes.
I would find out that he kind of is promised by Dracula that he can take the small lives.
Yes.
Lives of bugs or insects. And Professor Van Helsing, he's kind of analyzing Renfield's blood, discovers his obsession. And he kind of brings up vampires to Renfield, and he was like, no, no, what? No, vampires? No.
Gross. Why would you say such a thing?
Yeah, he's like, I gotta leave. Send me away. Or else it'll be bad for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dracula kind of, picks up. He's like, what the hell are you doing? He calls Renfield with wolf howling. And Renfield is disturbed by Van Helsing showing him wolfsbane, which Van Helsing says is used for protection from vampires.
Yeah. So, Van Helsing seems to have it figured out pretty quick. But I think the marks are what are giving it away.
Yes.
Because when they do the autopsy on Lucy, they're like, the 2 marks on the neck. Yeah.
So, and Van Helsing, he's more of like a worldly traveled person. He kind of knows some stuff.
Yes.
So Dracula, he goes to visit Mina now at night. And
Obviously.
bites her.
Yes, and this is where we get the creepy face.
Yes, he does this weird,
really weird mouth thing.
His top teeth. He kind of hides. It's a weird face.
Yeah, was he trying not to get blood on his mouth?
Maybe.
Not.
And the next evening, Dracula enters. He goes to visit her.
Yes.
And
she's already having a talk, and she's like, I had the weirdest dream, and there was mist, and then this white face came at me, and then it came closer to my neck, and then
it was awfully startled.
Yes, yeah. She's so proper. It's adorable.
Yes. And she has a scarf.
A scarf. Yes.
And Van Helsing goes, take a look, and she's like, no. And he's like, no, let me take a check.
Yes. Yeah, and he's like, permit me a look. And she's like, no, you mustn't. And he's like, permit me. Okay, fine.
He notices the marks on his neck. And he's like, why didn't you say something? He's like, that was nothing. And then suddenly they're trying to figure out who could have done this. And the maid shouts out, Count Dracula. And they're like,
dramatic turn.
And he's in the doorway. He's like, hi. He's trying to check on Mina, make sure she's okay. And Van Helsing, he's a little iffy on Dracula right away.
Yeah, immediately.
And Hercules like, I'm going to have a smoke. So he goes to the smoke box,
the
cigarette box, opens up, which has a mirror. And of course, Van Helsing, he's kind of peeking at the mirror, and he sees a reflection of Mina, Dracula, Dracula, and
Mina talking,
and the father. And he's just watching how he looks back, he sees Dracula, looks to the mirror, no Dracula.
Yes.
So he's like, and he kind of tricks Dracula into looking in the mirror and showing no reflection. He kind of freaks out and he slaps it down. He's like, "Rah!" And he's like, sorry, I hate mirrors.
I hate mirrors.
Mirrors bother me. Ask Van Helsing why, you sly dog.
Yeah.
And he kind of just leaves.
And then he just slowly walks away, and they're like, okay. And then
what was that about? He was like a mad dog. He had a feral look in his eyes.
So Harker goes and looks outside, and he's like, there's a wolf running away.
There's a large dog running. Where'd Dracula go?
And Van Helsing's like, of course, because he was scared we'd follow him. And it's like, okay, so...
So they kind of have a little sit down to kind of chat. And Mina sneaks out and she runs to Dracula in the garden. And he attacks her again. And drinks from her blood.
Yeah.
And she's eventually found by the maid. And they then find out that newspapers report that a woman in white is luring children from the park and biting them. Yeah,
because in this scene right before, she's walking around. She's just walking around a graveyard. And there's a guy walking past hearing a baby screaming. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and they kind of ask Mina about it. She's like, yeah, it's Lucy.
Yeah.
She's just, which they never come back to.
Yes.
In the 90s version, they do.
Yes.
But this one, they don't. They kind of just, whatever. And so...
Oh, that Lucy. What a card.
Go around biting children.
Yeah.
Oh, that Lucy.
What a lush. Trying to think of all my old-timey words that you call people.
And I'm thinking, I love Lucy.
Oh.
Oh, Drac. Can I be on the show? No, Lucy. Instead of I love Lucy, I bit Lucy.
I wasn't ready for that. Keep talking. I'm going to need a second.
I'll keep reviewing. So, Harker, he wants to take Lucy to London for safety. He wants out. But is convinced to leave Mina with Van Helsing. He kind of...
Yes.
Van Helsing and the father kind of... They talk sense into Harker. It's like, you take her away, it's going to get worse, and you're going to die. We got to keep her here. We got to use her to kind of catch Dracula. She's the key. So, Van Helsing orders Nurse Briggs to take care of Mina when she sleeps, and not to remove the wreath of wolfsbane around her neck.
Yes.
So they basically, later on becomes, I think, garlic. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know, but they really pump that up.
Yeah, and there's wolfsbane like all over her room, and then they put it around her neck, and it's a huge thing in this movie.
And she's complaining about it. It feels weird.
Smells horrible.
It means that she's turning, and it's affecting her.
Yes.
We then find out Renfield, who does this a few times, escapes from his cell.
Yeah, he just all of a sudden they're having like family meetings, and he's just like, "Sup, guys." Me again.
Does his laugh like,
Yeah.
So Renfield escapes from his cell and listens to the men discussing vampires. Before his attendant, who, what's his name, Marty?
Oh, this guy with the accent, like southern accent.
Well, he's very British accent.
Oh, is it British?
Oh yes. It's very Cockney.
Woo.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna find his name for a second because this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, he's so good.
Martin.
Yes, you're right.
Martin, as he almost steals. Every scene he's in, he steals.
He's so funny.
And so he kind of comes in, he sneaks in to kind of grab him.
Yeah.
And before he takes back to his cell, Renfield relates to them how Dracula convinced Renfield to allow him to enter the sanitarium.
Yes.
By promising him thousands of rats with blood and life in them.
Yes.
Dracula then, he kind of enters the sewer parlor and talks with Van Helsing. They have a little face-to-face, like, you think you're so smart, I'm Dracula, blah. And,
a little confrontation.
They do. And they kind of, you're a smart man. Dracula kind of compliments him, saying, you figured it out, good job, it's not going to mean a damn thing.
Yes.
So, Dracula states that Mina now belongs to him.
Yes.
And warned Van Helsing to return to his home country. Van Helsing swears to excavate Carfax Abbey and destroy Dracula. Because he kind of explained to the guys, again, the rules that we know.
Right.
He got to put a stake through his heart. He has to sleep in his home cell where he died.
Yep.
All that.
Yeah.
And Dracula tries to hypnotize Van Helsing.
Yeah.
He tries, but he's like, no.
Yeah.
The forces don't. I am the force is with me.
These aren't the drawings you're looking for.
But he does. Van Helsing, he resists the hypnotization.
Yeah.
Which Dracula's like, impressive, you got a strong will.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to lunge at Van Helsing, but he withdraws. But Van Helsing brings a crucifix out. Mm-hmm. And kind of forces Dracula to retreat. He leaves. And so then Harker goes to visit Mina on the terrace.
Yeah.
She's being kind of
this is when so the maid, he hears the maid arguing with her, and this is when she's like, it's too smelly in here, I can't sleep with all this junk, and then whatever, and the maid comes out and she's like, she's not listening, and I need to go to the doctor, and oh my god, and so he like walks in and he's like, hey, Mina, you're on the terrace. You're not supposed to open any windows. And she's like, well, it smells. I'm trying to sleep.
And it's nighttime. I love the night. Ooh, it's foggy. I love fog. He's like,
you don't like any of those things.
I'm scared of the night. It's like, no, I'd like it now. I like it.
I'm just, new year, new me.
Yeah. And you can tell she's totally turned.
Different,
she's trying to go up to the neck. She's doing this and that. A bat flies around and squeaks to Mina, and she responds.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah,
I will.
Yeah, I will."
And Harry's like, "You will what? Huh? You said something." Well, no, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Yeah. No, you're crazy, Harker.
Yeah.
And
then he just drops it. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah, and then she attacks him.
Yes.
But Van Helsing and her dad save him, and Mina confesses what Dracula has done. And basically says that, he made me drink his blood.
Yes.
which apparently in this is how you turn. And
yes.
that's the other thing. They changed up how you become a vampire in every movie. You either get bitten, or he drinks enough blood and then puts some of his blood in, or you drink his blood. There's so many different ways to become a vampire.
Right.
And she kind of breaks off, telling Harker, we're done.
Yeah.
Our love is over. It's not going to work out. We're done.
Yes.
He's like, oh.
Yeah. Wow.
So next night, Dracula hypnotizes Briggs into removing the wolfsbane. And that's like the maid.
The maid, yeah.
From Mina's neck and opening the window so he can get her. And Van Helsing and Harker see Renfield heading for Carfax Abbey.
Yes.
Because he
escapes every night, because, like, what's even the point of security?
Exactly. And then they see Dracula with Mina in the Abbey.
Yes.
He's kind of
carrying her, yeah.
And when Harker shows it to Mina, Dracula thinks Renfield has led them there. Which he kind of did.
He kind of did. He totally did.
He did. Not on purpose.
No.
But he's so hypnotized. He's so kind of loyal.
Yes.
He wasn't thinking.
Yes.
And Dracula kind of kills him.
Yeah. What does he even do?
He kind of, I think, just breaks his neck.
Sure.
Breaks his neck and he kind of falls down the stairwell and thunk.
Because we never actually see Dracula biting anybody or hurting anybody.
No.
We never see anything happening.
Well, it was the 30s. They didn't want to show him preying on men because that could bring up, hey, maybe Dracula's a bit of a swinger.
Yeah.
Mostly focus on women.
Right, but we don't even see him biting anybody.
No.
We just get the down views.
No, again, in the 30s, they didn't have much of a thing for violence or really graphic. They would have terrified those people.
Yes.
So,
if I was a time traveler, the first thing I'd do is make everybody, like, in the past watch one of our current movies.
Oh.
Like Human Centipede, first movie I'd bring.
Oh, God.
First movie.
Oh, that would kill him.
I'm a masochist. I don't know what to say.
That would wreck people. Oh, dear.
I would be a witch. I would be burned at the stake.
Yes. Yes. So Renfield fled for his life, but Dracula kills him, and then basically grabs Mina and runs down to the basement.
Yes.
Where his coffins were.
Yes.
And Van Helsing and Harker, they follow him down, and they're looking down this kind of big basement. I don't call it a basement. It's more like a...
It looks like a cellar.
Yeah. It's huge. And Van Helsing finds the two coffins.
Yes.
Opens one. There's Dracula. Opens the other one. And
he said it was... Oh, I thought it was empty.
Well, the first time he's like, he looks in, doesn't really say a thing, and tells Harker, go get something heavy. Go get, so he can pound a stake into Dracula's heart.
Yeah. And
then they come back, and he looks in again, he's like, oh, Mina's gone. And I'm like, was that an error? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. That was weird.
While Van Helsing's ready to, he kind of breaks the lid off and gets a stake out from the wood. Harker hands him a piece of metal, and he finds Mina.
Yes.
And she's kind of in the corner, kind of curled up, kind of hiding.
Yes.
And as we're watching Harker and Mina, we hear. We don't see, but we hear Van Helsing pierce Dracula with a stake to the heart. Dracula groans and screams and dies. Yes. And as he's dying, we see Mina reacting. Like, she kind of grabs her chest. Yeah. Kind of reacts a bit, and then she's, I'm free. I'm okay now. And...
that's how it works.
Yeah. Well... Again, vampire difference.
Yes.
Vampires. John Carpenter's Vampires does a good version of that.
Okay.
You have to kill the sire. Whoever sired you, you kill him, you're cured, basically.
Interesting.
So Van Helsing tells Harker and Mina, take off. I'm going to finish off Dracula. I got more to do. And the movie ends with Harker and Mina walking up the stairs.
Yes.
The end.
The end. Typical early movies ending where it's just everything's resolved, everybody's happy. You get to go home. Yeah, it was a trip. It was quite the trip.
It's a good movie.
It is, yeah.
You don't see a lot with it. It's very, very tame, but it's classic.
Yes.
Hence classic. It's the first Dracula movie, and it's really good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Bela Lugosi slated as Dracula.
Definitely.
He brought the whole... prim, proper, seductive Dracula into play.
Definitely. Yeah, I think he did an amazing job. I really liked it. I'm excited to watch more, honestly. I think, just like I said, older movies are charming, and I know it's a little sloppy and a little, the cuts are hard cuts.
Yeah, and that's
but
a perfect word, charming. It's a very charming movie.
Yeah. And it's just, kind of what you're getting into as soon as it's a black and white movie, an older movie. Like, it's almost 100 years old.
Yep.
Like, that's got to count for something. That the creativity and thought that went into it. One of my favorite parts of this is the beginning with we were reading the trivia where they painted on the lens, like on a piece of glass, and held it up to the lens to create a background. Like, that's really cool.
Yep.
Super props for creativity.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that. I thought that was really interesting. And just how they can do stuff back in the 30s and still have it, kind of be interesting today.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's awesome. I really liked it.
Yep. And it holds up.
Yeah.
It doesn't look muddy. It doesn't look rough.
Right.
It's very well done.
Yeah.
There's no music except for the one opera scene, which at the time they're like, music's boring. People don't come to hear music. They come to see moving pictures.
Which is interesting. That part bothered me a bit. But again, it's because I'm so used to having a soundtrack at all times. Because it tells you when you're supposed to be scared. It tells you when you're supposed to dread something. You're supposed to be surprised.
If this had a soundtrack, it'd be a little bit of a different movie completely.
Yes, absolutely.
But it would probably lose a bit of its charm, though.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. It's just you're so accustomed to seeing a movie with a soundtrack, with a background. Because the music tells a story right along with the words are being spoken.
And it sets the mood.
Absolutely.
There's so many different ways you can use music to lighten the scene, darken the scene, bring in apprehension and tension to the scene. Like it's amazing. It's how impactful music does to a
Absolutely. Film. I agree 100%. Yeah. So what would you rate this movie then?
3.5.
Oh, good.
It's a good movie. I do think that Bram Stoker's Dracula in the 90s is a bit better due to violence, acting.
Due to violence!
Well, it's a lot more vicious.
Yes.
I think that's what Bram Stoker kind of had planned.
Right, of course.
Again, this is more of a charming movie. It's a lot more toned down.
Yes.
But it's a good movie.
Yeah.
For the first Dracula movie, it's great.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a great movie.
I agree. I'd probably give it a 3, just because it's not, while it is still a horror movie, especially in the 30s, I can see how this would have scared the pants off of people.
Well, yeah, like the close-ups when you're doing the eye thing.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yes. And the looks were amazing. The lighting was really well done. I loved it. I thought it was good. I would tell people to watch it. Would I watch it again? Probably, if somebody wanted to. But it's, just being a classic. I think it's fabulous. It did really well.
I agree.
Yay. Glad we watched it.
Yeah. So, Ichabod's Kill the Flick. There's not much.
Yes. She told me she watched it with us, and she said that the kill of the flick had to be Renfield.
Yeah.
Falling down those stairs. Because we don't really see a lot of the deaths. While there is a lot of death going on in the movie, we don't get to see a lot of it. But Renfield, we kind of see the ending of his life when he slowly falls down the stairs and
old stair roll and
falls into something behind the scenes.
I don't know if that was on purpose to fall behind the crates or not.
I would say there's probably a map back there. That's probably why. Yeah. But there's not much else death that we saw.
There's the
English.
The ship captain's kind of, there's a silhouette of him tied to the wheel.
Yeah.
Lucy dies, but we just see her after.
We just see her autopsy, yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't even really call that an autopsy. I think they're just trying to save her.
Sure. Yeah, so Renfield gets it.
Good old
Renfield. On default almost.
He earned it.
Yeah, I agree. He did such a good job. He was the best part of the movie.
Him and Martin.
Definitely.
They made it work. And then together, because they played off each other, it was great.
Yeah.
Those two, I think, they got a full star for this movie.
Definitely.
They brought some humor to it.
Yeah, just where there was supposed to be maybe a little bit of comic relief, and just kind of like, oh, there's the lovable character again, even though he's a bad guy. But yeah, that's what I liked about him. And next week, we are watching Frankenstein.
We're going to continue with classic horror.
Yay! Yay!
So we're going from Dracula to probably the most second well-known monster, Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
Frankenstein.
Yay! Which is another good one. Another movie. But we don't... Well, I guess we do get some sort of Frankenstein's, like a few different adaptation.
There's that one. There's around the same time as Dracula, Bram Stoker's, there was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yes.
Which Robert De Niro, I think, starred in as Frankenstein.
Interesting.
As the monster. Everyone gets that to go. They think Frankenstein. Think the monster. Frankenstein was actually the guy who created the monster.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's whatever. It is what it is. Yeah.
And I get the people saying, "Oh no, that's the monster." You're right, but the name Frankenstein has been attached to the monster since almost day one, and it's synonymous.
Absolutely, I agree. I think people get too picky over stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's nothing really new.
Young Frankenstein. Hello. How could you just gloss over that?
I'll save it from the episode.
Oh, okay. Right.
But again, this is another classic movie.
Yes.
And yeah, it almost holds up a little better, I think, than Dracula.
Interesting. I haven't seen any of them, so I'm excited. I'm gonna watch Creature of the Black Lagoon on this while you're gone to work.
Oh, be my guest.
So I'm gonna talk about it on Talking Chop.
Nice.
Yay!
And we can talk again for Frankenstein. We can talk about all of the other movies that involve Frankenstein.
Yes, definitely.
Because there is a bunch.
There is.
They really, Dracula had some sequels. They stretched out Frankenstein as much as they could. Bride of
Frankenstein is amazing. She's iconic in her own sense.
She is.
Right?
And even with Van Helsing, they brought in Frankenstein to that movie too.
He was so good in that movie. I want to watch Van Helsing now. Thanks.
and even he's even seen as more of a what's the word? Not injured. That's the wrong word completely. Sympathetic.
Yes,
he is
definitely
a very, very sympathetic monster.
Well, because he didn't choose to be born, and then everybody hated him for no reason.
Yep, because he was
a monster. Yeah.
There's a reason for it, but I'm not going to explain it.
Wow.
I'll wait till we do the episode.
Yay! And thank you so much for joining us on this episode. This episode was brought to you by our executive producer, Ichabod. We hope you enjoyed your Horr-Gasm as much as we did. Please don't forget to rate, download, and subscribe. Also, like and follow us on Facebook at Horr-Gasm Podcast, Instagram at Horr-Gasm, and Twitter at Gasm Horror. And I guess YouTube at the Horr-Gasm Podcast. If you have a movie you'd like us to review, this is the best way to let us know. We hope to see you again next week because we have such sights to show you. Plenty of Horr-Gasms for you to experience. Bye!